had a nice cup of coffee. I'm seated. Well done. Mandy's getting ready. Good time. Please can everybody just welcome Lucinda to the front as our evaluation chair. Lucinda.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to the visitors and guests at Bryanston Breakfast Club, BBC. It's the new South African version of BBC. Bryanston Breakfast Club, better than you think. Do you agree?
Yes.
I agree. Today's speeches, were they better than you think?
Yes.
What I can say, bless you, we really had a lower day, the 2x2s. 2 icebreakers and 2 level 1 second speeches. Exactly the same. 2 of the same. So Noah would be proud of us here today. That's for sure. And 3 of the speakers are actually really pretty new. Only 1 speaker has actually really done a number of speeches by this point. So I actually wanted to give a round of applause to our speakers today because they showed a lot of heart, a lot of emotion, and you saw what it takes to be a Toastmaster today. The last 2 speeches, the speakers had to restart. By the grace actually of the president, that's what I love about this club, is to remember, let's be kind and gentle with people and help them on their way. We don't frighten them off, they never want to return back to the stage. And we have to remember that as Toastmasters. We're not dealing in professional capacity here. We're here to help people grow. So please give a round of applause to those speakers. The evaluators had a torrid task. Can't tell you this today. And you certainly got a taste of what it takes to be a Toastmaster. And I'm glad it happened actually with Division H, so welcome Division H. I'm so proud to be a part of this division. I want to give 2 tips. Number 1, the sergeant, brand new to role, this is not a hard to come by, hard to whatever, is it's important for speakers, and was a brand new speaker, speak to your sergeant. Ask him to assist you and take this lectern away if you don't need it. Because what happened today is you then find yourself trapped almost against here and you haven't got anywhere to go. And then you end up being right here and you start blocking people on the sides here. So it's really important to remember this can be moved. It's so light in this club, it can be, thank heavens, it really is easy to move. But the sergeant's here to help you and assist you as speakers, so please do turn to them for help and advice. The other thing I wanted to suggest, and I don't have a jug of me right now, is imagine with eye contact, something I actually learned watching an evaluator at the club I coach at this week. Please remember, when you are with eye contact, be generous. Don't get freaky and stare at people, but do look at them and then move on. And share it. It's like a jug of water and you want everyone to drink. You don't want to leave anybody empty. So make sure that everybody feels that they have had a part of connecting with you, engaging with you, and that you matter to them, one by one. Spend your time going around the room, not literally a clock to, that's not anti-clockwise, across and then back again, but as you go through, make sure that everybody has had something to drink today. The first speech of the day, icebreaker, was Shehu's speech, and joining me up is Adrian.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And especially Seiko. And I love the title of your speech, but you know, you obviously have gone through torrid times in your life. And also, I love your name as well, with the blessed connotations about it. And so you did have your blessed times in your life, but I kind of sensed that you are a little bit of a soul in search in terms of where you're actually going to go. But I really enjoyed your speech, I must admit, and I found it quite inspiring. In terms of the clarity of the speaking, the message came through very loud and clear to me. And then in terms of vocal variety, I had no problems there at all. And you certainly sort of, I could see that you were engaging with with the audience there. I didn't see you staring at anybody specifically like I'm doing now with you. Gestures was one of the things that I'm new to evaluation. One of the things that I got from our chairman of evaluation there was that I wasn't aware you actually holding your notes in one hand, were you? And you were grasping them. And then this hand was kind of going up and down when it could have been a little bit more variable in terms of its content. And I think that as far as the audience awareness, you were certainly aware everybody was paying attention to you, and I could see that you were looking around all the time there. Interest, I certainly found it interesting in terms of, here you are, who were a lawyer, and then in this dilemma that you had no time to do the things that you love to do. And then I heard about your storytelling ambitions there, and I'd love to know a little bit more about where you're going to go with your storytelling life. So I'm looking forward to the next speech. So I'll pass you with flying honours. Thank you.
And now on to our second speech, Charlotte's speech. Now the icebreaker, it's all about you, Snanzi.
Thank you, Madam Evaluation Chair, ladies and gentlemen, and especially to you, Charlotte. What a wonderful icebreaker. It was a pleasure to evaluate your speech, which was entitled, It's All About You. You started by telling us about you as a young girl, waiting in a car, waiting to get picked up. And you immediately got my attention, and I really wanted to know more of what's happening, especially on that vision that you have, your vision to fly. So the purpose of the project was for you to introduce yourself to the club, and I believe you did that. We got to know a bit about yourself in terms of you as a child. When you explained about, as a child needs to be seen and not heard. That half belt sitting there, and eat your vegetables as the first part, and then you moved on to going to university, the debate times that you had, getting a job, but you kept on with that vision of flying, of wanting to fly, that voice that you had inside you. So I believe that, in terms of what the purpose of your project was, you had very great speech, as I said, good vocal variety, and you also had a good eye contact because you were looking at, keeping an eye on everybody. And also you had you had a very interesting story that you were telling us. And then in terms of some of the challenges or things that you might want to work on is on the body movement, because we believe you didn't have quite a good way of your body movements to make use of the space. And also on the message, at the end it was not very clear, because I know now at the end you were talking more in terms of motivation of women and all that. So the meaning of your actual topic was not too clear. So I suggest that maybe that could be something that you can work on. But overall, it was a great speech, well structured, like the way that you had it all structured, and you met the objectives of your speech. So well done to you, and we look forward to the next speech.
Thank you, Snanzi. I'm going to reflect for just a minute. Because of this next speech that we actually got to hear today, it's very easy to get wrapped up in a vortex in this country of negativity and of blame and victimhood. But I think so often we forget about the good, the greatness. And especially with Nelson Mandela Day now on us, I thought it was a very fitting speech for the day. Truly so. And I think it is a great pleasure to call on Tanya to give us an evaluation on Anae's speech.
fellow Toastmasters, visitors and guests, and most importantly, Anae. You must look at me now, Anae. Anae, when we met this morning, I asked you what it is that you would like me to focus on. You made mention of body language in particular, specifically your hands and then use of the stage. So I was very aware of that while I was reviewing your speech. The opening of your speech was a tremendously charged moment, but I must commend you, how you stood your ground for probably 40 seconds and then you launched into it and you were ready. But to stand there for 40 seconds while you got yourself together is impressive and deserves a round of applause. It was, no doubt, a torrid moment. But there is no need ever to apologize. You never have to apologize when you're up there and you have a moment like that. There is no need to apologize. You went into your speech, it started, and then you were going on about a land where dreams come true. I'd forgotten about that torrid moment immediately. You'd caught my attention and I was ready to hear your story, which was lovely. The body of your speech had 3 very distinct chapters, which I love. I love the different chapters. You had your stories in Tanzania, your stories in Ghana, and your stories in Nigeria. And each of them were beautifully described. I can imagine you sitting there so elegantly in Tanzania in your yoga position with a beautiful view in front of you. It was such a stunning moment. And the one time that I did see good use of the stage was going from that very tranquil moment in your position to you step to the right and you were going to the office. And as you stepped, something's changing. I knew something was coming. So that was really good use there. And the sea views in Tanzania, the wonderful wedding in Ghana, and the Nigerian wedding ring story were all wonderful. But I think there was a timing issue. You went over 8 minutes, and it's very difficult. You had 3 beautiful chapters, and maybe out of the 3 beautiful chapters, 1 should be a big story, and the other 2 should be smaller, just to bring the time under control. Now back to hand movements and the stage. It's very difficult to try and weave hand motions in when you're holding your notes, and I don't believe you need your notes. I think you can drop your notes, and then you can start working with these hands of yours. The stage movement was very limited, but you were dressed to the part. You were ready to perform. So I think what you must do is when you're preparing your speech is plan very particular stage movements. And if I reflect on your speech, that could have been at Ghana, while I was in Tanzania, and then I went to Ghana, and in, I forgot what the last country was, but in that country, and maybe you could have done 3 moves. And I think with movement on stage, you just have to start with a little bit, and then it becomes more and more natural. So thank you for a wonderful speech. I look forward to seeing your next dress from another country. Thank you.
So with all the greatest things in the world, we come to a closing last speech, which was our 4th speech today, Nandi's speech. And to evaluate is no other than the IPP himself, Harold Robinson.
Evaluation Chair, ladies and gentlemen, and especially Nandi. When I saw the topic health and safety, I thought, oh, this could be a torrid speech. But I'm happy it was better than I thought. Nandi, let me start off by saying, when you go into your pathways, tick that you've done this successfully, so very well done on that. You gave us a good overview of health and safety. Very nice examples that you gave us in the beginning of some of the things that can happen when you ignore health and safety. And you went through the benefits and the necessity of health and safety. So you had a purpose to your speech, which we received very well. A few things to work on. Your conclusion fizzled out a bit. And I thought it was a good opportunity to tie your conclusion back to the examples that you gave in the beginning. So for example, you might have said, if Mr. Singh had done the following in the Health and Safety Act, he could have avoided this. Right? If the principal at Driehoek had done this, he could have avoided this. So a strong tie back to the beginning would have added a lot of oomph to your speech. I'd also like to hear more compulsive reasons for the H&S. Because if you tell people, well, you're going to save costs on this, you're going to save insurance and that, actually they know that already, or they've heard it already. So I'd like to hear something more compulsive, something more personal, something like that. And it's a challenge. Perhaps you could say it's the right thing to do, it is something that we should be looking at in terms of just human respect for people. And then, just from a speaking point of view, what I'm doing at the moment is the praying mantis. Try and get your hands down to your side. You'll find in time it becomes easier, and then your gestures will flow more naturally. And to challenge yourself, I'd like to hear a bit of vocal variety, pauses, and drama. So, for example, when you spoke about Driehoek, and you spoke about the principal who didn't report something because he didn't think it was a problem. He didn't think it was a problem. Well, if I can do it here, I'm sure you can do it even better. But if you add a bit of drama, it really adds to your speech. But overall, very well done. I'm looking forward to your next speech, and I'm sure when you give that one again, you are going to be more dramatic with your audience.
Now, how easy is it to be a Toastmaster? Incredible. Mandy, can I please have the timekeeper report for the evaluation?
Madam Evaluation Chair, it is my pleasure to give our amazing evaluation team a torrid timekeeping report. They were amazing. Evaluator Adrian, 2 to 3 minutes. Your time was 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Snanzi, your time was 2 minutes 10 seconds. Tanya, you finished on 3 minutes and 9 seconds. I tried to stop the clock, but it didn't work. And Harold, 2 minutes and 55 seconds.
Thank you. The speakers and evaluators have had the torrid task of performing in front of you today. And now it comes down to you, yes, Quivers, it comes down to you, the voters of the day, to please vote for your favourite evaluator on your white piece of paper, and Dina will come around.
Sorry, does everyone have pieces of paper?
Oh, evaluator.
Everyone fine? Coming now.
Shall I use some toilet paper? Do we have a towel?
Yes, very nice. We have a last question. Chaos.
One of the chaos.
No. He bumped the table. Coffee almost spilled. He dropped it 10, 20 seconds. In the middle of somebody's speech. Popped open. I don't know what's more. More than maybe. Oh yes, you made a noise with that. I heard Peter's eyes. No, just with a faint little. See.
For the sake of timing, shall we pace ourselves forward? Now we hand on to the Grimorian report of Quivers with his torrid task. Torrid, and torrid.
Madam Evaluator, thank you. I just want to mention to you that using the word torrid in terms of a task 3 times in a row doesn't matter, it doesn't count. So I'm crediting you with only 1 use. Mandy's used it once, Anaya's used it, torrid love affair with Africa, Tanya's got it twice, Harold's one, and I think that's the lot. You might have noticed that uptake was a bit slow in the beginning, and the idea of putting the word on the tables there didn't work out, so in the break I put it up there. So since then it seems to have picked up quite a bit. As for the usage of English language, I decided to focus on the positives today, not the negatives. I found very few negative things, so I'm not going to mention any about that. But I've had some very good usages of figures of speech and language. Tsego, I wanted to tell the world about itself. We're also always so caught up in our own little thing that we're not really seeing anything about ourselves even. The whole world is, as the theme says, better than you think. And to tell the world about itself, making it a better place, that struck a chord with me. Charlotte, I am not ready for the real world. We always feel that way, but it also just at that point said boom to me, so it was good. And you're never giving up on that little voice, and we all so often do. I really like the use of that expression there. Anae, you have had so many of these good things, I can't really mention them all. We've lost the purity and essence of our culture, something to that effect. Was brilliant for me. And by the use of all your examples, you really took us into your story, into everything you told us. So I must say I'm very impressed with your preparation there. Thank you for that. And I will conclude with that. If there's anybody who want to find out the little bit of negative things I picked up, we can speak afterwards.
Thank you, Provost. And Hamza, can you please present us with your so, but.
Therefore, no arms, no R's, 2 so's and 5 N's. Charlotte, no arms, no R's, 3 so's and 7 N's. Anae, 7 arms, 3 R's, 3 so's and 7 N's. Mandy, no arms, no R's, no N's, no so's, 3 N's. Adrian, 2 arms and 3 N's. Harold, 2 N's. Snancy, 2 N's.
Thank you. And that kind of wraps up the evaluation. And now, the big moment you've been waiting for, drum roll. Division time. Aubrey, please join me as the outgoing division director. Am I doing that? It says on the thing, am I going to you? Okay. I'm handing to Lynn.
Division H recognition. There are lots of worthy people we're going to recognize, and Audrey's just asked me to kind of MC this session, so to speak. Before we recognize these wonderful individuals, there are 3 members of Toastmasters leadership who are going to be presenting outgoing speeches. The first of which is Audrey Mpela, Division H Director, outgoing speech. Please help me welcome her. Her title is The Phenomenal 5. The Phenomenal 5, Audrey Mpela.
What makes Division H great? Mr. Toastmaster, my fellow leaders and achievers. strongly believe what makes Division H great is the collective collaboration of every single member. Every single member that volunteered and said, yes, pick me. I want to deliver a speech. Every single member that said, yes, pick me. I will take on an evaluation role. Or every single member that said, yes, I'll be there to support every member that comes to our club meetings. I strongly believe that it is our collective collaboration that makes Division H
Great.
in particular. I want to draw your attention to the Phenomenal 5. These Phenomenal 5 are your area directors. Area H1 director was Omega in Malawi. Area H2 is Elias. Please stand. Area H3 is Gar, who is not here today. And H4 is Tando. And H5 is Rick. Please stand to be recognized. I want to salute all these area directors and the members that cooperated when they requested your assistance. The 5 things that I want to share with you regarding these Phenomenal 5 is what makes them great. What makes them great is that they were selfless. They were not selfish. They were self-driven. They were self-motivated and self-inspired. And they served you with energy and passion. I think the thing that made them so passionate is seeing each and every one of the members in Division H participate, come to meetings, go and visit other meetings to make the Toastmaster family a fun and learning environment. Words are not enough for me to express my gratitude for everything that they've done. Throughout the year, Division H was recognized as top division because of your collaboration. And they will always be remembered as the top division for 2018 and 2019. And to the incoming committee, I want to wish you as well great success. I know that you will continue the legacy of success for Division H. I salute you for all your hard work and dedication, and continue to raise the bar for Division H. Madam Toastmaster.
We are part of Area H2. The Chengwe has been our leader, and boy, he harassed me a few times. A few times a lot. But I have an enormous admiration for your resilience and perseverance, and that role and its impact on me in my individual capacity was way better than I ever thought. Thank you. The next of the 3 outgoing speeches is a speech on behalf of outgoing area directors. Our long-standing friend Rick Robenheimer will present the speech. The title is So Long and Thanks for All the Fish. So long and thanks for all the fish, Rick Robenheimer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Earth is demolished to make way for a hyperspatial express bypass at the beginning of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy trilogy by Douglas Adams. Some of you will know it. The dolphins leave before this cataclysm, dolphins being much more intelligent than humans, as Douglas Adams explains, because all dolphins do is muck around in the water and have fun, whereas humans concern themselves with things like wars, and mortgages, and Kim Kardashian. I added the last bit to update it a little. The dolphins leave a message. They say, "So long, and thanks for all the fish." On behalf of my outgoing area directors, I'd like to say, so long, and thanks for not throwing rotten fish at us when we joined your club meetings to try to advise you on what we thought the club should be doing. Thank you for not giving us a torrid time. It's been an interesting exercise. Perhaps I should explain, particularly for new members and people who are interested in Toastmasters, how the structure works. Toastmasters clubs are part of a worldwide organisation, but each club is largely autonomous. Clubs are grouped some 4 to 6 together into areas. 4 to 6 areas typically are grouped together into a division. And then the divisions come together in regions, and we are, in districts, and districts form part of regions. We're district, anybody know the number? 74, good. District 74 consists of divisions that are named with letters that spell out the word leadership, and we are Division H. Division H has, in the last Toastmasters year, 5 areas, in the coming one, 6 areas. And Audrey has mentioned the area directors. I'd like to pay tribute to those area directors for the work that they did in this last Toastmasters year, and it shows in our results, and of course in Audrey's leadership as well. In the previous Toastmasters year, which ended the previous June, Division H was select distinguished. That's the middle level of distinguished. In this last Toastmasters year, Division H is President's distinguished, the highest level of distinguished. In the previous Toastmasters year, we had 8 President's Distinguished clubs in the entire division. This past Toastmasters year, we have 13 President's Distinguished clubs. I'd like also to thank the people who put up with us, our club presidents particularly, and our club vice presidents. The area director is a strange beast. I mean, you can see it by looking at me, right? Mark Mutwali, who is immediate past president now of Golden Gavel and comes from the DRC, says that when you come from the DRC, you are not in office, you are in power. But an area director doesn't have power. The area director can advise their clubs, they can perhaps admonish their clubs, they can aid and abet their clubs, but they cannot punish or coerce their clubs in any way. It's an interesting exercise in servant leadership. The area director can be disciplined from upstairs if they don't do their job or they misbehave. An interesting situation. I'd like to thank our club presidents, our club vice presidents and office bearers for the way that they have largely cooperated with us as area directors in achieving the goals of Toastmasters. The ultimate goal being to get your club's presidents distinguished. But even being distinguished is an achievement. The levels are distinguished, select distinguished, and then presidents distinguished. And you've done this by, first of all, getting at least 4 club officers trained at each of the club officer trainings, of which there are 2. Think about it for the coming year. getting your club dues paid on time, getting 4 new members and then another 4 new members, and getting your educational goals, the speeches that you see given at every meeting. And those all add together to a maximum of 10 goals, which will get you presidents distinguished. 9, in fact, will get you presidents distinguished. Fewer goals will get you a lower level of distinguished. Thank you for your cooperation and assistance. Thank you for responding when we nagged you about getting those extra members onto COT. Thank you about responding when we asked why you weren't keeping your level of speeches up. Thank you to one of my club's Golden Gavel when at the beginning of June they had 14 members and they needed 20 to qualify for distinguished, and particularly Elaine got those 6 members in the last month. So thank you for that. And returning to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where the 4th book in the trilogy happens to be called So Long and Thanks for All the Fish. The protagonists at the end of the book journey to a planet where they see engraved in stone God's last message to his creation. And I think that's a fitting last message from last year's area directors to you as well. And it goes like this. We apologize for the inconvenience.
Thank you, Rick. We'll be happy to hear that we are on top of the training taking place on the 3rd of August, and I'm sure we'll have a healthy number of attendees scoring us our first points of the year. On to the 3rd speech. It's a speech on behalf of incoming area directors. Chamu from Combi. Speech title, Impacting Lives for Good. Impacting Lives for Good. Chamu Combi.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Picture a young man, professional, joining a Toastmasters club for the first time in his life. He was advised by one of his colleagues that perhaps a club like this could help him gain some confidence that he needs when engaging with customers and help him shape his thinking, which is important for communication. Soon after being welcomed into the club, he's asked to introduce himself. The young man stands up and starts shaking quite visibly. And he tries his level best to steady his knocking knees, hoping that they will not betray his extreme nervousness at having to address a group of 20 odd strangers. He opens his mouth to speak and immediately feels very self-conscious, and a procession of stutters roll off his tongue, only punctuated by a couple of full words, one at a time. The few seconds that he has to introduce himself feel like a lifetime when he's trying his level best to manage his nerves throughout this process. Quite surprising to him, he notices that the audience are smiling at him and they are watching attentively to his introduction. And to top it all, they reward him with a round of applause when he is trying his best to hurry and sit down. Well, a couple of visits later to this club, this young man joins the club and he becomes a member. And he very quickly learns the importance of mentorship in the club. And he starts using this to develop his speeches that he delivers on a regular basis. And he soon learns the strategies of managing his nervous energy that he has before he delivers his speeches. And he uses this to help him reduce this anxiety-driven stutter that he has when he speaks. Now, let's fast forward 12 months. And picture with me again this young man, having now completed his competent communicator program with Toastmasters, and he enrolls to go into this impromptu speech contest in his club. This man does so well, he wins this contest hands down. So he then goes into the area contest for the impromptu speech contest. He delivers this speech with so much confidence. And obviously, he wins this contest, and he can't believe it. Today, this young man, as I speak to you, he's a consultant in the financial services industry. And each day, he's energized to get up, stand in front of his customers, and share with them how they can invest their money and where to invest their money. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a true story. And it happened in my club. I wasn't the young man, but I observed it play out in front of me. This is the reason why I believe that Toastmasters is more than just a social club. Toastmasters changes lives for good. Toastmasters gives people skills to be able to communicate with those around them. Yes, Toastmasters set people's careers on a path for success. And it is for this reason that I feel really honored to be selected to serve the clubs in my area as the area director. As you know, Toastmasters' focus is on the individual, on the Toastmaster member, and in building healthy Toastmasters clubs. In my division, there are 6 areas, and all the area directors have already started working with their clubs to make sure that we deliver for our club members. We deliver positive, palpable, and progressive impact for our members. We've already started rolling up our sleeves. And we're putting that shoulder to the proverbial wheel to make sure that we deliver for our members. Now, we're not unaware of the challenges that we will face as we journey with our clubs towards getting to our goals. Hey, our division director, and some of our area directors are not even in this country, they're in another country. And that means that we will not have the luxury of a lot of face-to-face interaction when we talk about Toastmasters business. I'm sure many of you know that anything in life that is transformative, that brings change in someone else's life, it will be beset by a lot of challenges and obstacles. And yes, we are expecting these challenges as Division H. But what we do know is that with the assistance of our district leaders, our divisional leaders across the district, and more importantly, the wisdom of some of our experienced Toastmasters in our district, we will weather the storms that we will encounter as we march with our clubs towards meeting our goals. We believe in the typical words, for example, from a gentleman by the name of Joshua Marina, who said, challenges are what make life interesting. However, overcoming those challenges is what makes life meaningful. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking forward to working together with our area directors, with our clubs, and I'm looking forward to having some lives changed and impacted for good in my club, in my area, indeed in my division, and in my district. Madam Toastmaster.
I didn't want to use our theme again too obviously. I feel like I'm going to kill it before it takes its first breath. But Toastmasters is so much more than, and I'll speak for myself only. There's so many lessons to learn, so many more than I ever imagined. And they're just all there for the taking to impact our lives for the good. May I call on Audrey to now do some individual recognition of wonderful human beings.
I cannot even begin to tell you how extremely hard the area directors worked this year to ensure that our division and our members meet their personal goals. Therefore, the purpose of this section is to thank everyone that contributed. We've sent out a survey and the members nominated, and these are the results that we got from all the people that participated. This is to say thank you. This is to say, yes, we've noticed what you did. This is to encourage every member to participate. This is to say, sometimes when I joined Toastmasters, for example, I didn't know that there was something called emissary. Therefore, these awards, some of them that we give today, is to also create an awareness to say, there is this outside of the club. There's club emissaries. There's divisions, there's areas, there's districts, there's Toastmasters International, there's the world champion of public speaking. This is to encourage a culture of showing thanks and appreciation. A culture of just saying, look, I think you did a great job, congratulations on them. And to not just say thank you, but to give a little bit token of remembrance, to say, oh, I got this when I was at this club, I got this. And when this goes out to the clubs, they're also encouraged to continue. Sometimes you get tired of Toastmasters and you don't see the results immediately. It was Jim Rohn who once said, the greatest reward for a man's toil is not what he gets from it, but what he becomes by it. It's when you look back, you realize I have actually grown, I've actually become a better person, a better speaker, a better leader. Some of the awards that we give is people that are already achievers, but we don't want to say, oh, because you're already, you don't need to. We are saying continue doing the best that you can. Therefore, we've got a list of the people that were nominated and selected, and because most of the people are not here, we've asked the area directors to collect these awards on their behalf, and they can go back to their clubs and encourage the members who are coming to the club to say, listen, I received this award, and so on. All right, so we would like to explain some of the titles of what they mean and how they were selected. So we've got represented Division H and District. So District, we have Evaluation Contest, and Zandri Walker, we've got her certificate, and we printed lovely certificates for them that they can put and frame on their walls or put on their club websites, just to create a beautiful vibe and nature and culture of the club. Therefore, Zandri Walker is from Transformers. Chamu, sorry. Could you please come in? Oh, all right. Thank you. And we've got, the next one is Benjamin Musiwa is from Malawi. He represented us in district. That means in Division H, the best evaluator is Zandri Walker. And in Division H, let me give you a bit of stats. We have 22 clubs, but we have grown to 23 clubs. So out of 23 clubs, they came on top of being the best evaluator and being the best speech contest. So this one is for Malawi. They will be coming down this on the 27th, and we will hand them over. They can take it back home to Malawi. And then we've got Michael. Michael is from Transformers as well. Okay, so Michael represented us in the table topics. Also at district level. So district level is all the countries that are represented in the Toastmasters. It's South Africa, it's Botswana, it's Malawi, it's, help me, Namibia, Swaziland, Lesotho. So we are very big. And of all these countries, we have Linda Itwell, who was the Toastmaster of the Year. This is coming from Division H. Remember, if you are in Division H, I'm impacting your life and you are impacting someone's life. And this is the impact that we are making at district. Therefore, congratulations to Linda. Linda is from Area H3. That will be for Garth, the area director. And then all of my list, I think I've got oh, right. President Rice. All right. And then we've asked also the members and the areas to nominate who they think the President of the Year was. And the results that we got was for Bradford Dale from Accenture. Thank you. So Rick is the area director for Accenture. Accenture was a club that at one point they were very struggling and they actually almost closed down the club. Then Rick stepped in, and guess what? The club is now president distinguished.
To give credit where it's due, Kirsten Bosworth was club coach.
Club coach, yes, club coach. President Kirsten was the club coach for that. Congratulations. And top club of the year, we've asked as well for votes to come in to nominate top club of the year, and that goes to Mariswe. Who's going to call it for Mariswe? Congratulations. The history of Mariso as well. Mariso was also a struggling club for many years. And this year, they've become President Distinguished and Top Club of the Year. Congratulations. All right. I think I need a copy because I'm not sure if I'm on the right.
Oh, no, you go.
I'm on track. All right. And club that had the most varied meetings like today, you can see you bring a little bit of variety, change to make the people know that, oh, it's always the same old thing, but it's not with Bryanston breakfast. It's always something new and exciting and fun. Congratulations for the most varied meetings of the year. Mr. President, Mr. Immediate Past Member of the Year. This will be for a committee member that went the extra mile, that gave more than they could, and this one goes to Wesley Lewis. So Wesley is from Woodlands, right? Woodlands Park. Woodlands Park. Thank you. All right, so we've also asked the members and the area directors to pick an award that they want to give out. Anything that feels this stand out. So this one was for Area H3, Vanessa Van Art, the numbers game. That's what it's called. The name of the award, the numbers game. So this person signed up the most members in Area H3, not in the entire, just in Area H3. This is the person that signed up the most members. Congratulations to H3. Alright, so area directors, I told you they've got a lot of work to do. And one of the, am I on track?
No, you rolled 9.
You missed 9.
Here's number 9. Number 9. Okay, we'll come back to number 9. It is here, don't worry. Okay, can we come back to it? Or do I have time to just go through this? Let me go through it. Let me go through it quickly. Alright, the next one is a non-committee member who displayed great leadership. This is to say, even if you're not in the committee, if you're not setting up the room, if you're not the VPE or the VPM, and you are a member and you are helping and you are showing leadership skills and you are serving, we do recognize that as well. And this goes to Charlotte Bernard. Therefore, even if you are not a committee, arrive early, help the members set up, help them take away. So this is also great leadership skills. Alright, the next one is when I've explained that the area directors have a lot of work to do. Not only just coming to support you in your clubs and nagging you and irritating you. They've got area reports to complete. Is this the area direction report? Dues. Okay, we are on. Okay, sorry about that. I'm very excited about the area directors. My apologies. My apologies. So this is the area that completed the first dues renewal. Remember, at the end of now in August, we're going to have to renew our dues to Toastmasters International, and next year again in March, April, May, we need to renew our dues to Toastmasters International. And this is one of the things that made Division H top of division for them for completing this first time, and everybody completed according to their targets. And we want to give the first area to complete their dues renewal to Area H4, that is Chamu, Tandu. This one is coming from district. They give us the list of who was members, Talk Up Toastmasters, Smedley, thank you. There we are. Okay, yes. So this one is for Area H1 for first completed area reports. When I was area director, it took me almost 3 hours just to complete one report. Therefore, it's a lot of work, and we can't complete that report without the assistance of the president and the VPE. So this is not just for one person. I remember what John Maxwell said.